Hello everyone, we are back for another run. We now have Skarfelt on Ori and the Will of the Wisps. It should be a very, very good run. They ran this at GDQ a couple of weeks ago, and here again, another speedrunning marathon. So, Skarfelt, take it away.
Hi everyone, I'm Skarfelt. If you're here from Smash UK, you probably know me from playing Fox in either Smash 4 or Ultimate, and I'm here to play Ori and the Will of the Wisps. I'm not going to make too many references to the GDQ run. This is actually a different category. It's part of the same main thing of all challenges, but it's a different subcategory. What I did the GDQ and what I'm mainly playing this game is main quest order, where you do the game in a mostly intended order. This one's not like that. This one you can do any of the challenges in any order you want, and any of the quests in any order you want, which means that, well, for the first 25 minutes or so, it'll be pretty similar to the GDQ run if you've seen it before. After that, it's going to change a lot because we're going to be doing a pretty big sequence break. So, look forward to that. And I'm pretty much just going to start right away. We play on normal difficulty. It's not faster, it's just we collectively decided it was the most fun way to play. So, I will count us down and we'll be ready to go. In 3, 2, 1, go. So right off the bat, the first thing you do is just you can pause and skip the prologue, which is 10 minutes, so that's a pretty good thing to skip. And there's going to be one or two quit to menus in the run. Basically, by quitting out to the menu as the game, so as like a cutscene starts, then you won't have to watch the cutscene, which is obviously pretty good. Now, normally in an actual run, we do that a lot more, but the Ori community is actually currently discussing a potential ruling change around that, so I thought it makes sense for a marathon to just, keep it quicker real time, so we're not going to do too many quick menus. We're going to do them for the big cutscenes like that one right at the start. And here we're picking up these little orbs called Spirit Light. That's pretty much the currency of the game. We need to get 400 to get to pretty much the most game-breaking and important thing in the whole run, which is going to be Sentry. So we're just going to be getting as much Spirit Light as we can. It's been routed pretty carefully. You can do it a few different routes, and I'll be trying to go for the most advanced one using a trick later on. But yeah, we also got our first ability thing, which is Torch, which is a weapon that wasn't available in Ori 1. And the Torch is useful because we can do things like this. There we go. Yeah, by doing the up slash over and over again, you just hover. And we're not going to have the Torch for very long, but fortunately we have it for long enough to do that. That jump I just did there is pretty finicky. You're meant to grab onto this blue moss, but because we're not meant to have the torch actually can't grab to that blue moss, so I have to do these kind of finicky jumps to get in and out of that section, which went pretty well, fortunately. We're also going to just drop down here and get some Spirit Light, and we picked up our first keystone of the run, which you can see in the top left of your screen. And keystones are basically, as you'd expect, keys to unlock doors. This guy Talk is going to give us another one. This is the only time we talk to him in the whole run because we're very rude. We just run past him like 4 other times. And yeah, we need 2 keystones to open this door. And keystone counts and manipulation is going to be a really important aspect of this run that will come up more later, so keep an eye out for that. This is an example of a quit to menu that I wouldn't do. Normally in runs I would quit to menu that door to skip watching the animation because it uses a loadless timer, but for the sake of real time it's nicer to just watch it. And we're coming up in the first boss/escape sequence here, which is going to be Howl. And as per his name, Howl likes to howl a lot. And there's not really much time save we can get in this escape. We can just kind of turn around here, get hit, if I missed it, so that's whatever. It only saves 0.4 seconds. This is pretty much an auto-scroller. And then once we get up here, we want to try and kill him as quickly as possible by doing 5 slashes to the left, then 2 to the right, then 7 back. So let's try and get this. Okay, didn't quite get it perfectly. Then I just didn't also remember to try and quit too many, sorry. It didn't quite get it perfectly there, but that was still pretty fast. That's good. So, now that Howl's dealt with, yeah, I should have mentioned, we don't actually kill his whole health bar. The point of this basically is that Howl is like the natural predator of this area. These little cute guys we'll see in a second, these guys here. Howl is like their natural predator. And Howl, hunts us as he would anyone else, and he sees that we fight back, and he's like, nah, I don't want to deal with this, so he just runs away. Which, fair enough. We're coming on our first ability now. We can just pause and skip the cutscene, and we pick up the swords, which is going to be not actually a huge source of damage throughout the run, but is going to be a really important tool for movement throughout the whole run. Because you can do some pretty cool things with its slash properties, like here. You use an up slash, stall for a bit of height in the air, and use that to cross gaps, otherwise you wouldn't be able to. We're also going to do a quick quit to menu here, as this cutscene is 40 seconds long. I think I might have done that slightly too early. If I did, then I'll respawn back at the tree, which would be quite sad, but hopefully it's fine. Let's see. Yeah, it's fine. Cool. Alright, we're going to head down here now, and we're going to pick up this spirit light here. I kind of messed up, so this guy's in a bad position. That's fine. And then here we can, again, just do an up slash here. And you can see, like, slashes can break a lot of trivial stuff. Like, we're meant to do a thing up above us there with the combat arena, but we can just do an up slash there and it's fine. And then you can also use down slashes to pogo off enemies, similar to, you know, Shovel Knight, Hollow Knight, whatever. And we picked up our first ability, which is going to be Double Jump. And Double Jump, as you'd expect, you know, is a double jump, but you can do some cool things with sword storage with it, like this. Nice, first time. Basically, if you swing your sword and then jump cancel it into another sword swing, you get even more height. You can then do that into an up slash, and then down slash gives you very slight vertical momentum before you go down. Think like your, you know, Mario games with their ground pounds or whatever. So we can use that to just wake it up there. I'm also doing a thing called samurai jumping, where it's quicker to jump away from a wall and then cancel your slash into a jump rather than just jumping up the wall. It only saves like a few frames, but it looks really cool, so that's why I do it. We're coming up on a really important skip in the run now, which is called door skip. I'll focus for a little bit here, because this is quite a difficult one. I messed it up. So I'm going for like a slightly harder version of it, which can be a bit inconsistent, but it's faster. So we're all about speed at Game O. So we're good. Okay, cool. Now that was all to skip getting a keystone further down, which is quite a time-consuming one. But also it skips having to go through that keystone door at all. And if you look in your top left corner of the screen, as long as the overlay doesn't cover it up, I don't even check for that. I don't think it does. I have one keystone right now, and I'm not meant to. I'm meant to have none. But that means that keystones aren't actually tied to the door that they're meant to be used on. So I can use this keystone at any point in the game now, which means that I can do some pretty cool time saves and sequence breaks. That was rude of him. He normally doesn't do that. Yeah, we're coming up on our next ability now, which is Regenerate. And Regenerate is, you know, very similar to your focus from Hollow Knight. You hold the button and you heal, which you might think, well, why are you getting that, Skarfelt? Aren't you a gamer? And while I am a gamer, I will unfortunately have to use it for things like, you know, going really fast, which you might think, that's weird. Why does standing still to heal make you go fast? And you'll see whenever we get to a particularly cool bit of attack called Wave Dashing. Also, you'll notice that I'm killing all these slimes as I go. It's quicker to kill 10 slimes than to pick up the last little bit of spirit light you would otherwise get. So that's what I'm doing here. I also picked up a shard earlier, which we're going to see another one here, and I'll be able to explain what they do once we get that. So look real quick as I open up this menu and I clip this. Might have blinked and missed it. These shards basically, I think I'm fine, yeah, augment your abilities in some way. So the two ones I have so far, one increases the damage I take and increases damage I deal, and one decreases the damage I take. Does that make any sense? I'll explain after 1 sec, sorry. Well, I got that while talking nonsense, isn't that great? That's what's pretty much a cutscene skip. Oh no! I messed up. I forgot to kill a guy I need for this, so I'll head over here and just kill this guy real quick. Or kill this works too. That's not meant to happen, but you know how it be. Whatever, I think I'll just go from here. Apologies about that. There we go. You know, it's funny, like, I was like totally petrified of doing that at GDQ, but I didn't, and then I totally forgot about it for this. There's like a tiny bit of spirit light I forgot to pick up, basically. Anyway, moving on with the run. We just got Sentry Jump. Yeah, that's way more important than me messing up. I've never done that before. That's funny. Anyway, I got sentry jump, and so what sentry jump lets you do, as you'd expect. I say as you'd expect. I don't know why I said that. Basically, makes you just do this. By pressing sentry, the ability that we bought, and up slash on the same frame. I'm going to look at 20 here for energy. Pressing those in the same frame, you will actually launch miles into the air, and we're going to use that for a lot of sequence breaking, skipping rooms quickly, and just general optimization. Like here, we can just do like a sentry jump up here. It doesn't do a big skip, it just saves a bit of time. And we're going to use that throughout the whole run. We're also going to pick up our next ability, which is Spirit Arc, which is a bow. And the bow is going to be our main source of damage, but for now we're not going to be really using it for that. We're just going to be using it to solve some basic puzzles. I'm also going to unequip Reckless, which was the one that makes me take more damage and deal more damage, because I don't need it anymore. I'm going to need it later, but not for now. And now I'm just going to basically be doing some sentry jumps and bows to unlock these doors. This is like the little, puzzle introducing the idea of the bow, as Ori is a Metroidvania, so most of them, have this kind of thing where you get an ability, then it shows you how to use the ability in an area at first. And also, if you look at the top left, it says we have 3 ice stones now, which is going to be quite funny because we only have 2, but it's going to show that we have ice stones this whole time. Oh, ominous! We've opened up Prolox Hollow, and now if you look down at the HUD, next to my bar, the blue thing is energy there. I just picked up some there, and basically every time I sentry jump or fire the bow or use any spell, it's going to cost some energy. So I have to be really careful with routing the amount of energy I have to make sure I can do all the sentry jumps I possibly can. Here we're going to be doing a trick which is called Dash Swim, where basically I'm going to swim blind down here to a save trigger. There we go, I got it. 1 sec, my sound cue. There we go, got it, cool. And basically, there's like an advanced reason as to why that works. I'm not going to bother going into the whole thing for it, but basically you're meant to lower the water twice and then head down. But by doing a very specific set of blind swims and also picking up the health beforehand and picking up the resilience shard means we can just about make it through that water. Here I'm going to take an intentional death because I need to get energy back, and I'm not doing too many in this run. Whenever you die, you respawn with a bit of energy, so yeah. And now I'm going to come off my next ability, and the big ominous boss music is going to stop soon, because I don't actually have to fight that boss. And this is the Dash Tree. And Dash is a really strong ability for the whole run. We can do a lot of really cool tech with it. Like, for example, we're going to be able to dash off this, and then get our dash back, and then escape this whole section like this. You can also cancel your dash into a slash, which you can then cancel into another dash. And you can chain that together for a lot of fast movement like this. See, I got like lots of dashes in there. Also, Song Like started playing as a banger. This game's soundtrack in general is absolutely phenomenal. And I'm coming up on just another shard, basically, where I need to accidentally hit that thing to the wall. There we go. And then I'm going to do a wave dash. And wave dashing, basically, you dash into a wall, and you tap away plus regenerate, and Ori was flying in the other direction. Now, 1 sec, I got to go back out now. I'm going to kill myself with some spikes that you can't see, because that will give me some more iframes for because reasons. I'm not sure I'm going to make it. I made it, cool. There we go. That's kind of a nerve-wracking one, so I'm glad I got it. On the way out, it's a lot harder than on the way in. But now we have to lower the water anyway. It's still faster to do it this way, because I've always had to lower the water again. But, yeah, I'm not going to just shoot this. I'm going to do a real quick put menu just for the sake of getting some energy back. Yeah, so wave dashing, which I began to explain, I'll get interrupted by myself. I keep forgetting how fast the tricks in this game come. We're going to do another one in a sec. You dash into a wall, and you use regenerate, which is the heal, and away at the same time. And Ori was flying in the other direction. And the reason it's called a wave dash is because Ori waves the camera while doing it, which you'll be able to see now, which is very cute. A developer of the game actually came up with that name. Yeah, watch here, and Ori will wave. There we go. Cute wave. I'm going to go for kind of an advanced trick here called Moonwalk Tree. Let's see if I can get it. Nope, not quite. But there's a few more opportunities for it, so I'll try again at those. Basically, if you aim the bow down at the same time, so it's exact, like, maybe not quite the pixel, but like the same exact spacing the cutscene starts, then you'll basically be able to move during the tree cutscene. I'm just going to go open up this way. We're going to actually come this way later for a major area, but for now we're just going to get another shard, which is Splinter. Earlier we got the shard Quick Shot, and Quick Shot, as you'd expect, lets our bow shoot a bit quicker. I say a bit quicker, a lot quicker actually. And we're going to go over and get Splinter. We're also going to do a pretty cool trick here to get this Spirit Light early, and then Wave Dash all the way over here. And now we have Splinter. And Splinter basically splits my bow into multiple shots, each which do less damage, but together they do a lot more damage than it would do otherwise. Basically makes my bow a shotgun, and that's going to be our source of damage for the whole run, because it's actually very, very broken. Not broken into the speedrun way, isn't it? It's just overpowered. Now we're just heading out of this area, basically, and we're going to go meet a very important character. His name is Kolok. I want everyone to say Frog Champ in the chat whenever we meet him, because he is in fact a frog, and he is in fact a champion. So we have to just jump over here really slowly, and then at the skip cutscene at a certain point, and watch out on the right, and you will see Frog Champ. Frog Champ, okay, he's gone. Now we're going to do a wave dash over here, and I forgot to even mention, over here, there's this boss right here, and if you touch the ground, it triggers the boss, but we don't want to do that because the boss is very slow. So we're going to basically jump over his trigger and make sure we never touch the ground. And as long as we do that, it won't trigger the fight, like so. Also going to do a thing called a bow lift here. By jumping off this pole, you can conserve your momentum with the bow, like that. And you just go flying up. Here we're going to do another cutscene skip, where I just jump as soon as I reach the ground each time, and that will skip the cutscene of me entering town. I'm going to then rudely run past every NPC in this place, because they have nothing to say to me. And then I'm going to talk to this guy, Twillin, who I ran past earlier, and he sells shards. I'm also going to click him real quick. His master is just a little bit quicker for me. And yeah, so what we got from Twillin there was a shard called Overcharge, which is very, very important. Overcharge halves the amount of energy everything costs, which means I can sentry jump a lot more, but also it makes me take double damage throughout the whole run. Ah! We're fine. No concern. Yeah, so it means I can do more sentry jumps. I'm also going to do a cutscene skip here. This one wasn't legal in the run I did at GDQ, if you're wondering. And I'm basically going to head down and open up this dungeon Wellspring that the monkey in town somehow got to before me, even though I'm gaming like really quickly. So yeah, this is going to be the first point in the run where there's unskippable cutscenes, basically. Up until now, everything's been skippable, or you can save time in some way. This time I can't. I just picked up my last of my energy cell fragments. That gives me a little bit more energy. So now I'm going to do most of the game with this energy and health count, which is 5 health and 6 energy. And for context, spikes in most areas do 4 damage when I have overcharge on. So that means if I take 2 hits from anything, I will die, which is totally not stressful. Also, whenever you quit the menu, you respawn with 4 health, so at that point everything in the game will be a one-shot, which is also totally not stressful. We also have this really cute cutscene of Ori's family going off to find Ori. I haven't really explained the story, I'm not really going to, because we're going to be skipping even more of it in this than we do in like any other category. So yeah, most Metroidvanias have like shortcuts you can access at the end of the levels to, you know, backtrack. We just accessed the shortcut right at the very start using some aerial sentry jumps. Now I didn't mention, but aerial sentry jumps are actually frame perfect. You have to do the inputs exactly 3 frames apart from each other, so getting that first try with both of them is really rare, so that's cool. I'm also going to do another moonwalk tree attempt here. So I'll stand right here. Here we go. And now I can dive into the water, which will reset the camera. And there we go, I can now move while the cutscene's happening. That saves a little bit of time. Cool. I also just got grapple. I should have mentioned. I don't think I mentioned bash either. Whoops. Bash, if it's not already obvious, I can use it to attach myself to objects and fling in the other direction. Sorry, I really should have explained that. And grapple, I can use to grapple to objects, and I get momentum from it. I'm going to use down slash here to just go through this and skip the cycle, and then I'm going to do a combat arena. These all spawn in fixed locations, so I can just always know where they're going to be and where they're going to move. There's a guy top right now. Look, this guy top left, and there's going to be a guy spawns bottom right here. Cool. And we got enough energy and health refills to totally refill the whole thing, so that's cool. This guy comes along, we saved him, he's gonna just go out of bounds for a wee bit, don't worry about it. Whoops. We're gonna shoot this dash to the right. It's possible to dash inside the wheel, but that's not actually faster, because we're gonna try and do this whole room in one cycle. This room is like the main puzzle of Wellspring. We're gonna skip the whole thing, and we're gonna try and make the next lasers in the fastest possible cycle. So I picked up some more Spirit Light there, and I'm going to Sentry Jump to skip this whole room, and then I'm going to Sentry Jump again just as this laser disappears. And I'm going to go up the wall. I think I should hopefully still be able to make it if I use bashes here. Okay, I didn't quite make the fastest cycle to beat that laser there, because I ran the wall a bit, but that's fine. And then we're going to destroy this, and that is Wellspring done now. I had to watch this cutscene of the last bit of Wellspring being opened, and then we're going to head up, and that'll be it done. The reason we're here is that the water in all of the game is dirty, as you will have seen, and doing this will clean up the water, pretty much the exact same as Ori 1. We're going to go for some aerial sentries here again. Mess up my grand one there. There we go. I'm also going to buy the last thing of the run we need to buy using this last bit of 100 Spirit Light. I'm going to buy the ability to fast travel anywhere in the game, which means I don't have to be standing on a fast travel point to fast travel, which is very, very useful. I'm also going to do a cutscene skip by essentially jumping right here and then mashing pause. Okay, if you pause in the exact frame he grabs you, you die and just get to spawn into the fight immediately, which is really good. But you can always just quit the menu, that's fine too. This isn't actually a fight, this is a escape, which the series is pretty famous for. And they have banger themes, and they're basically really intense sequences. At the moment there's some water chasing me, but it's very far away, so we can't actually, pardon me, can't actually see it. Oh, there it is, actually. Get a slash in time for music, that's very important. And you see that's where the example of where bash is used. I can attach myself to objects, and then after time stopping, I launch myself in the other direction. I should have explained that about 10 minutes ago, but you know, I'm gaming too hard for that. Last little bit here, I'm going to bash off this, and then it's quicker to dash to this and bash to the next one. And then do some dash slashes to make it into the cutscene trigger. There we go. Unfortunately, you can hear the song was building to something, and it was building to quite an amazing climax actually, but it's optimal to not hear it, like, ever. So we're going to basically deliberately avoid the songs. Like, basically in this run, if the song ever hits its drop, you're like, oh damn, I'm too slow. Anyway, there's a very important cutscene coming up. Normally I would like ask for donations or something during the, quite a long cutscene, but this is the most important one of the whole round, because first of all, these are the Moki, they're my best friends, I love them very much, please say hi. If somehow you're a sub to me, when I never stream, this is your time to drop the Scarf one so soggy in the chat. I think it's just soggy actually, because they're going to tell us that we are, in fact, very brave. We are so brave. We are so soggy. I just think that cutscene is really cute. I really love it. The Moki are very important. Anyway, so we just got a quest marker telling us to go back to Kolok, who was Frog Chomp, if you remember, but we're really rude, so we're not going to do that. We're going to head to Luma Pools instead. And it's fine to actually go this way, but the area of Luma Pools is one of the Act 2 areas. It's basically you're meant to like do a lot more of the game before you unlock any of the Act 2 areas, but we're going to go do this early because we have the opportunity to do so, why not? I'm just going to head over there and then do some gamer tech to get in there early. Also, we're swimming for the first time. Swimming is not really hugely interesting, I guess. Not a huge amount to say about it. I'm going to go for a pretty cool trick here. I can do a wave dash into an aerial sentry jump. Okay, I didn't quite get it first time. That's fine. Second time's fine too, because otherwise your energy runs quite low. As you can see, I only have one left, which gives me one sentry jump. I'm gonna do a sentry jump to get up here, and then here I'm gonna do a pretty cool trick where if you bash something on a wall, it'll actually come with you. So I can do that to do a double bash there, and then pull this lever. And I'm gonna quit the menu again for energy. This lever just opens the door below us. There's a trick also I normally wouldn't do in marathons, but it's really funny, so I'm going to do it anyway. Basically, there's a puzzle you're meant to do in the water here where you hit switches in a specific order, and it's pretty long. But for some reason, if you just die to these spikes, as you can see below, this puzzle automatically completes. And the reason for that is to do with like hitbox interpolation with how Ori is defined whenever they spawn back in and stuff like that, and it only really affects those spikes that you'll never into a casual run. But it's just so funny, like why on earth does that happen, that I like showing it up anyway. There's also a skip here coming up that's 100% RNG, which is super cool. We got bad RNG. Basically, if you die in the previous section, then this door is meant to spawn in. It's meant to be a combat arena here. I'm meant to do like a minute-long fight. But sometimes, as you can see there, it just doesn't. And it's 100% RNG whether it does or does not. Now, you can avoid that RNG by just not dying in the previous area, but unfortunately we have to die to do puzzle skips, so, you know, that's how it be, basically. I think the current patch of the game is actually 100% consistent with that. Worth mentioning, I'm not actually running a current patch. It's optional to run on this or current patch or the patch just before it. And I just personally prefer the one before it. It's not like specifically that the next one is like so much less faster or whatever. But yeah, just picked up 3 keystones. I'm gonna die just so that this door will open quickly. I'm also gonna go for a wee trick here with the moonwalk tree. Okay, I didn't quite get it. It's because I haven't practiced that since GDQ, so I don't know why I tried to go for it. It's really precise. Yeah, if you remember though, that door took 4 keystones to open, and we only picked up 3. And the reason for that is that that keystone we got all the way back at door skip was used there, and we're meant to get this one, but now we have swim dash, we can get it way quicker. And swim dash makes water movement a lot more interesting. It's the reason we came here in the first place. It makes all the water movement in the run a lot quicker, because now we just do this through the water rather than having to swim slowly. And we just activated the teleporter there. You can see on the left, this teleporter here, as long as you're within proximity of it, it'll activate automatically. So that's all we want to do. We just want to activate the teleporter and leave, because the boss doesn't spawn until we start acting. So, remember this boss we skipped earlier? Well, all challenges means we have to do all of the bosses as well, which means we have to now fight this boss. So we might as well trigger it now that we have upgraded damage and stuff like that. So this boss, now we have upgraded damage, is going to melt, as you will see from... oh, this guy's here. Interesting. As you can see from his health bar, Splinter Shotgun Bow just destroys him, basically. And because he's the boss after you get dash, you're meant to use dash like to get under him all the time. It's like how the fight works. I ran into his back as he was dying. That was kind of a bad fight, but not the end of the world. He drops a lot of health and energy for us, fortunately, so the energy we used on the bow defeating him isn't actually really a factor, which is pretty nice. And now we're going to head over in the intended direction, which is back over towards Fraudchamp, and we're going to head into Silent Woods. And we're going to do a quick wave dash in here. There's also a cutscene skip here, which doesn't say real time, but it's kind of cool. Basically, the game's going to lock you, so you can't move anywhere. But by doing sword swings, you can move yourself forward very slightly. And by doing that, you can make it into a save trigger. And by doing that, it means you don't have to watch the cutscene. So that saves time loadless, which is what we do for regular speedruns. Anyway, now we have swim dash. This area is a lot quicker. It might not look like it because it's quite a small water section, but swim dash actually saves 17 seconds here, so pretty significant. And here we're going to do a cutscene skip. That's actually quite finicky there to get that sentry jump perfectly, so that's quite nice. I got it first time. And we're going to do a wave dash and skip going the bottom route entirely. And now we're going to have to basically read the cycles of these bubbles correctly to land them properly. If I'm right, yeah, this bubble should land exactly when I get there, which is quite handy. And yeah, okay. Normally you can do some tricks with that door, but I'm not going to go for them right now. Now, coming up is the point where the run diverges completely from anything you would have seen before at GDQ. So, yep, we're going to do a thing here called Q skip. I'm not going to bother explaining how this works because it's kind of complicated. Cool. There's a cutscene over there. You can hear the owl. We're going to skip that basically. And you might do this section on a pretty slow-moving owl friend, who an owl friend is not only just very slow, also has a cutscene attached to them that's a minute long, but also has a hover. You can see there's kind of an updraft in all these areas here. We're going to be using hovers to get through here, but we don't have hovers, so we're going to have to use a lot of sentry jumps, basically, instead. Also going to kill myself in this guy real quick, just to heal up here. And then I'm going to heal from that too. And at this part I have to be really careful, because if I die... actually, I might have already messed it up thinking about it. I'm not sure. If I die at any point, then the game will go crazy later. And also I'll go back like several minutes. So I have to be really careful to not die. Do a sentry jump up here. And then I'm going to do a thing called a sentry dash, where if you do certain inputs into slopes, the rig goes flying even higher than a sentry jump. And I'm going to do some movement that looks kind of weird. I'm going to head down here. And then going over to this little lantern activates a teleporter below me you can't see. And yeah. Okay, this will probably activate the bad thing I was trying. Oh, never mind, it didn't. Cool. Cool. Hopefully I explained that well. A lot of stuff. I expected something else to happen that's bad, but it didn't. So that's actually really good. Basically, if you walk into that cutscene, the game just puts you onto Q automatically. But if you die at any point during Silent Woods, the game has a freak out and doesn't know what to do, as in layman's terms. But that didn't happen for some reason, so we're blessed. Now Q is gone. We have to go find her real quick. But don't worry, she's just sleeping. You can probably get one donation in here, actually, Sam.
Yep, that's fine. Well, here's a £50 donation from Chris. I'm going to assume it's crispy, but he goes, let's go, John, let's go, Mind. Yeah, love you. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that too. Yeah, so we just found Koo sleeping. Don't worry about her. She's absolutely fine. And don't worry about the solemn music and the grey background or anything like that. And now, this is the teleporter I activated earlier. Whoops. I forgot to turn my macro off. And now we're going to go take a big divergence from the upper run as well. This will be the last time I reference MQO, I swear. And we're going to go over here to the Windswept Wastes early. And we're going to do a skip called Feeding Ground Skip, where if I don't touch the ground at all during this section, this cutscene will never trigger. Except I lied because I can touch the ground here if I dash over it really quickly, like that. So it doesn't count as me touching the ground for long enough to trigger the cutscene. There we go. And now we're through the whole section, and that's like a big stealth section, which it locks your movement speed at first, and it makes it so you can't go too far without Shriek, the person in the background, killing you. But we avoided that completely, so that's nice. It also means that that's actually the biggest sequence break in the whole run, which for reasons which will become apparent soon. But for now, we're in Windswept Wastes. And we're pretty much just dipping into Windswept Wastes because we need an ability to progress, which is Burrow. Fortunately, Burrow is right at the start, so we can just pretty much dip in and out and get it real quick. I'm going to go for another Moonwalk tree because I'm a crazy person. I didn't get that either. Oh well. There's one last one left for me to redeem myself. And it is a very difficult trick, to be fair. So now we have Burrow, which lets you do this. You can basically burrow through sand, and every ability in this game, because this game's movement is the best game of any game, it's just so beautiful. Anything you do will reset your dash, your double jump, so on and so forth, which includes Burrow. So we're going to have a lot of fast movement now. And now we've activated that teleporter over here. We're just going to teleport back to where we were at Shriek. And now we have Burrow. We're going to go do the final level. Because the final level has, as you'd expect, the final ability in it. And the final ability is a really tremendously powerful one. More powerful than Sentry Jumping, if you can believe it. And we're going to use that to make the rest of the levels a lot quicker. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to unequip this and equip Reckless again. So now I won't be taking double damage. I'll be taking slightly increased damage, but not too much more. But it makes my sword swings do more, which is important. This combat arena is pretty uninteresting, so you can probably read a donation here if you want.
That is fine. Just want to correct it. It was AZ Chris Guitar and not Crispy Fat, the last one. That's surprising. They both had very similar there. My bad.
Yeah, I actually wasn't sure myself.
I was like, huh? But either way. Alright, so we have Big Steven Regenix Mega Man donated £60, donating for the cause. So we hit that 1,500. Well, we've smashed that. We've absolutely smashed it on nearly at 1.7k now.
Wow.
Been watching all day. Wanted just to shout out all the runners and of course the Gamma team behind the scenes. All you guys have gone above and beyond. Thank you much for the £60 right there, Regenix. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah,
we also have one, afraid. Oh, you're right.
Yeah, one more. All
right, one quick one as well. Leo DZ, we have much love to everyone running. Good luck to the runs, John T, and that's 25 right there.
Thank you very much, Leo. I really appreciate that. Yeah, so now we just got our final ability, which I forgot to do in walkthrough on, so I cannot redeem myself, unfortunately. The run is dead. Reset. No, we just got launch, which is basically a bash at any point. We can just launch ourselves in any direction. And doing so will also give us back our dash and our double jump. So the movement from here on out is going to be pretty ridiculous, because we're going to basically be able to do whatever we want. Also launch actually do things like this, where you can kind of move really quickly along the ground if you do it into certain slopes at certain angles. Also going to do a real quick to menu here, because this cutscene is like 90 years long. And then we're actually going to be in the final level of the whole game. And it's quicker to do this whole final level now while we're already here. Problem being that it's really hard, and we only have 5 health and 6 energy, which is going to make it even more difficult. So I had to be pretty careful about all the cycles here, and I can skip that boulder by just dashing underneath it. That's fine. It's actually a pretty trivial skip, but it's so trivial I assume it was that didn't intentionally. And the next one coming up is one of my favorite parts of the whole game. It's a really fun section. Basically, it's going to be the floor is lava, literally. We're not going to be allowed to touch anything on the floor, even though I just did there. Whoops. I need lava even. And I'm going to try and make the fastest cycles possible. I didn't quite do it there, so I'm going to play it safe because I hit laser earlier. And one hit from anything will kill me now. And then one last launch over here. Cool. And that's the second part down. I don't think I mentioned, but Willow Tree is the final level, has 8 little hearts that split off from it, and we have to destroy all 8 of those to beat the game. So that's 2 down, and whatever, 6 more to go. I'm bad at numbers. Also, I just died. Oops. I'm very good at commentary, honest. So I'm going to do an intentional bit of damage here, just a little bit quicker, and then we're coming up on a pretty cool skip actually. Where you're meant to redirect a projectile through this whole puzzle of portals and stuff, but we can redirect this one. Okay, messed it up. And basically, we can redirect this one instead, and by launching very quickly after it, we can break the puzzle pretty much. That's not going to work either. It's going to be a bit finicky sometimes if you don't get it first time. There we go. Oh, now I dashed into the wall, so never mind, I have to do it again. It's also one of those things that if you fail it, I start getting nervous, and I'm like, oh my god, I need to get it, and then I start playing worse than the next one. Someone's the first. There we go. You can see all this stuff over to the right that I'm meant to be doing, and I just ignored that completely, basically. That's about to save about 25 seconds. Anyway, we're going to head on towards Heart 4, which is another really fun one, because it's another floor is lava one. I mean, in this case, the floor, you can see the floor is this purple lava, but yeah. It's also the only reason we need to get Burrow, is for this. I'm not meant to do that, that's just a F. Oops. Tried to be a bit too fast with my launch angle. Because you can choose any angle in this game, it makes some of the launch stuff like really precise because you're not just choosing like on a notch or whatever, right? And like I'm not using D-pad even I'm using analog stick, so I have to be very careful with where I launch to make sure it's exactly right. And there was a bit too low. I'm gonna hit regenerate real quick, and if I do this correctly, I can do a wave dash here. I don't have the energy for it, never mind. And okay, I'm not sure how this is gonna work now. There's a quick cycle you can make here after if you do that wave dash correctly. Yeah, I've just missed it. That's fine. We're gonna also just walk through this laser. Don't worry about it. Bottom left laser just doesn't have a hitbox. Not all lasers are made equal in this game. Some of them really don't want you to go through. It's the same is true of cutscenes. Some cutscenes I absolutely insist you do not skip them, and some of them are like, eh, whatever. Just go on past, buddy. Don't worry about it. Okay, that's 5 hearts down. And now we're going to head over towards heart 6. And this boss is really, really difficult, so I'm probably going to need to focus quite hard. Okay. Oh, very challenging boss. I had to hold up and press the bow button. I'm sorry, that was a stupid joke. Yeah, boss is completely free. You just hold it up and bow and he just dies. That's 6 hearts down. We're going to head towards heart 7 now. Heart 7 and 8 are kind of joined, so I had to try and make them both on really quick cycles. This is pretty good so far. If I make this as quick as possible, I can do a... oh, not quite, okay. You can dash through the middle of that as you saw there, which is a bit faster. But I didn't quite make the cycle I needed for it. I think I could have done it if I was a little bit faster on like the last bit of movement, but oh well. Didn't have the confidence. Right, we're coming up towards heart 8 now. I need to just get a little bit of health back, so I'm going to have to take 2 laser damage tanks here. That's 1. And that's 2. Okay, now I didn't quite make this cycle because of my slower time on the previous heart, so I have to wait a little bit. This is one of those parts of the run that can really like compound. Yeah, as you see there, like it doesn't matter if I die there because I have to wait for the cycle anyway. Like missing that one thing on heart 7 meant I missed the next 2 cycles on this part. So this is a really challenging part of the run. You like have to do everything perfect to make the quickest cycles, and if you die once or mess up once, then that's it over basically. Right, we're not quite done with Willow Tree yet though. We have to get out of Willow Tree first. And as you saw, the door there opened. We can now pretty much just leave whenever we want. And now we're at the final boss. But if you remember, this category is called All Challenges. We haven't even begun to do all the challenges yet, so we gotta go take a detour. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna equip Overcharge again, and I'm going to activate this well just for the sake of getting some whoops, just for the sake of getting some energy back. Now we're gonna head down towards Boar's Reach, which is the first of our Act 2 areas. And we're going to do a cutscene skip, which is actually one of the only things I actually invented, so yeah, go me. Where if you launch like this, and then launch like this, we go over a cutscene. And the reason for that's pretty cool. Basically, if you launch into a... because you're meant to only be able to walk there, so you launch into like a trigger for that, which doesn't cancel your momentum on the launch. So you can use that to skip over the top of the cutscene trigger, which is pretty cool. And now we're into Boar's Reach, and you've already seen that launch is doing a lot of work. Like, normally you're meant to do this whole puzzle to be able to activate this lever, and we can skip with Sentry Jump, sure, but with launch it's just a lot quicker, and the movement's a lot more decisive, I guess I'd say. So yeah, so decisive you can go into spikes with it. And we're also going to do a skip here, where instead of lighting that torch, we're just going to go up like this. And then this part is a pretty major skip. We're going to drop a sentry here, and you're meant to get an ability here called Light Burst, which is a grenade that breaks ice walls and stuff like that. But for some reason, sentry detonating has the exact same effect, like the fire effect that gets rid of it. So we can just skip Light Burst entirely by using some well-placed sentries like this one here. And if you see over there to your top right, that door, you don't actually get to see it, but that door opened because I dropped the sentry there. So yeah, that's all the Boar's Reach done, which is like an hour-long area, which is pretty much all done now. All I have to do is finish this combat arena. And unfortunately everyone spawns in consistent locations, so I can do this cool strat where I bash this guy into spikes, then dash over and shoot 3 bow shots, jump over this guy, and shoot all these bow shots into his back. Oh, I messed up. Also, launch is cool and breaks enemy shields, so I can do things like this. Do it again. And now here, I'm going to very quickly go take a detour, because I need to get... Oh, I need to dash into spikes and die. I need to get a keystone for a later area. This one takes 12 seconds to get, so it's definitely worth it. And then here what I'm doing is I'm cancelling my launch into a double jump into a feather into dying. I did that way too quick. And that lets me basically launch again immediately. And here's at the last little climb at the end of Boar's Reach. And we're going to be coming up on a cutscene skip, which is quite cool. And looks quite funky. So yeah, we're at the end of the section now. I'm going to do a quick terror walk over there. And now here, I'm going to stand right here. Do a launch here. And then if I did this correctly, I should be in a pile of snow. And okay, I didn't quite do it correctly. I didn't do it correctly again. So what you're meant to do is basically end up just over this in a... like in this kind of thing where you can hear the snow there, but normally I get this first time every time. I don't think I've ever failed it before, so I'm not really sure exactly what's going wrong with the trick. I'll try simplifying it a bit in my brain, so I don't know what's going wrong. There we go, okay, that's it. That was a bit nerve-wracking. I had no idea what was going on. But yeah, now kind of suddenly we're into the Boar's Reach escape. And worth noting that every single spike in this will one-shot me. So, and if I die, I have to go back and do the trick again. So I didn't get the save trigger from it. So like that, yeah. Whew. It's okay, now I know what went wrong though. I was going too far to the left. That time I was too far down. Never mind, it just worked anyway. I don't understand this game sometimes. This time I'm gonna do the same thing, but I'm not gonna die, which is a cool new trick I discovered. Where if you just don't die, it makes your speedrun's actually quicker. On the bright side, this song bangs, we get to hear it again, so that's cool. We'll do a quick cheeky wave dash off this tree. I lied. It was totally not nerve-wracking. Anyway, that was the escape done perfectly first time. I'm gonna have to skip this cutscene using a sound cue. Cool. Because there's no visual cue there at all. And now, if you remember earlier, we did all of Luma pools except the boss, which only spawns in for Act 2. So now we've started Act 2, we might as well go do the boss. And we can do a cool trick here where if we sentry jump right here, wasn't sure if it was going to work, here, we can trigger this cutscene, then dash into the next cutscene. So what will happen is that the game will trigger both cutscenes at once, and when the first one ends, it will give us our movement back. So it means I can move freely in this cutscene. I can do a wee dance, have a good old time. Fortunately, I don't have to do a pile of blind movement. All I have to do is dash to the left till I hear the water. Like that. And now I just wait, and I chill out until Quillock decides to attack. Oh yeah, by the way, spoilers. Not that Quillock was evil the whole time, but this dude from the water escape from earlier didn't die. If you look carefully, he doesn't actually die in that escape. So he's back and has possessed Quillock. And now Quillock is evil frog. That's pretty good. That Terror guy can be a bit finicky. Terror Walk, I'm not sure why I keep calling it Terror Glide. Cool. You can go underneath that using some tricky swim dashes. I'm just going to heal up from our from safety, and then we're going to start the fight. First thing I'm going to do is shoot this energy crystal, and then drop some sentries, which do actually do damage as well. And then he's going to give us the worst possible pattern, because Firefan. The worst possible pattern. This is literally the worst one you can possibly get. It's really difficult to do damage. It should be okay still. Yeah, that's fine. During this phase transition, we can just wail on him with the bow, so it's pretty much fine. And now we just have to basically just keep going in and out of the water. And you can do a bit quicker. If you jump near the water, you'll have less momentum entering, which means you can leave it quicker. Cool. And then we can do a quick quit to menu as we kill the boss, and that will be not quite full lockdown. We have to do some real quick stuff here where we we do an aerial sentry first time, every time. And then we launch out, and there we go. We're up to the boss now. So to the cutscene now. This one's pretty long, so I'd say a donation is ready. It's also very sad, so we prefer to type Frog Champ in chat, please, for him. It's very important to me.
Let me find one.
Yeah, no worries.
We have 50 from Josh. Johnny really got on stream and decided to erase slow as a concept. We also have...
Thank you so much, Josh.
We also have £20 from Brewy. Mon Jonty, launch Craigasm.
Yeah! Brian says that in my stream every time I get lunch.
We also have 25 quid from Mike from Moke. Loved watching this event today. Great stuff to all the runners. Please put this towards Doggy _ naming the first worm Patchworm.
That's good.
And we also have one from 25 from Choose Affinity as well. And good luck to everyone. Thank you much for the donations, guys. And of course, we are very, very close to 1.7. Very, very close. And let's keep going. Let's keep donating. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's really amazing. I'm really moved about, like, it's just really cool to see people come together for speedrunning, which isn't something that, you know, obviously Smash UK is about Smash, right? So seeing everyone being able to come together and enjoy speedrunning together is fantastic. Yeah, it's really cool because speedrunning is awesome. I really enjoy it. Now that Frog Champ has sadly departed this mortal plane, it is time to go to one of the final challenge areas, final like main areas, which is, Moldwood Depths, which we unlocked a long time ago actually, but we weren't able to actually, enter until we did the Ku quest where we watched Ku fall asleep. I'm gonna do a quick quit menu here, just because this cutscene opening Moldwood Depths takes 40 seconds. It does have some very good Moki dialogue, so it's unfortunate we skip it, but that's how the cookie crumbles. Speed is more important than friends. So here's Moldwood Depths, which is a very scary area because everything does a lot more damage, everything's a lot more scary, and also we're going to have some darkness that will instantly kill us. So the way this area works, basically, I'm just going to get this guy out of the way first. We'll also have to wait for this, I guess. I've not seen that before. So you can see this like darkness encroaching on me. If it encloses all the way around me, I will just instantly die and respawn at the last save. That's pretty bad. Fortunately, our bow can get rid of that, but even more fortunately, if I just happen to game out of my mind like that, I can just make it across there without the darkness ever even touching me. Which is the idea, but it's quite difficult, so it's not going to happen every time. Here we're going to pick up these 2 keystones, and we're not actually going to use them on the door at all. Moldwood is another area that's meant to be like an hour long, but by using patented gamer strats, we can skip the whole thing. And that's it, Moldwood's over already. Which is, like, if you've played this game casually, you might be, like, swearing at your screen right now, because Moldwood's a really difficult area, which is really long, really convoluted, involves using a lot of really precise light strats, you know, to get follow this little ladybug the whole time. We don't care, we just skip the whole thing. And that area is really fun to do. There's a lot of really fast movement, a lot of just really fast, like, sequencing in general, inventory management, that kind of thing. It's really fun. This is one of my favorite areas in the whole run. And now we have Spider Boss, Mora, who is one of the more difficult fights in the run as well. This can definitely be a run killer. And I already killed it at Forest Reach, but whatever. Like all the other bosses, we're just going to use bow and hope she gives us a good pattern, which normally she does. So this one, pretty much, we're just going to use the bow, and then we can use the sword as well to like stagger her every few attacks, as you can see there. After enough attacks, she will go into this wall, like so. We can just wail on her during this as well. Stand on her right-hand side, because that makes her attacks a bit faster. She did give us spiderlings, which means that we're going to deliberately dash into them to kill ourselves. And the reason for that is that the spiderlings will actually warp up to her second phase, and the spiderlings are an absolutely hellish attack to deal with. So rather than dealing with them at all, it's faster to just kill yourself. Here, we're going to head towards the second phase after this little escape section. I'm going to equip Sentry, and I'm going to refill my energy and equip Reckless. Actually, no, first I'm going to drop these Sentries. That's what I'm going to do. 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to equip Reckless, which will increase my damage, and we'll just melt through her health for this first phase. Hopefully I should get it in like just under 2, just before she does this attack. There we go, perfect. Okay, now I can, if I do this correctly, I should be able to just about finish her off in the second phase. I'm taking damage from stuff that's fine. Okay, cool, I got her perfectly. Where am I going? Alright, cool, yeah. In that second phase, the second part of her second phase, she closes the darkness in around you, which is really bad because the darkness kills you. So if we run out of energy, we're just pretty much dead. So we have to be really careful, and it's really easy for the fight to go like horribly out of control. So, oh, I didn't put one macro on. Should mention though I keep saying that I have a macro for sentry jumping, so it does each input in the same frame. Because the community decided it was the difficulty of doing an input in the same frame is less interesting than the creativity that consistent sentry jumps allow. But I have to turn my macro on and off because the controller only has so many buttons. I keep forgetting because there's no visual indicator. So here we're into the rest of Windswept Wastes, which we're now going to come back and finish because you have to have all the other wisps before you can finish this area. I'm doing a quick menu here just to make this cycle fully consistent because I can now go for these lasers as fast as possible, which looks pretty cool. Oh, I lied. I couldn't do that. That's still pretty fast. And now, there's meant to be a big puzzle over here, but as you probably expect at this point, we can just skip those sentry jumps. And launch. And I'm going to do some quick dash slashes over here, and we are into our final quit menu of the whole run, fortunately, as we enter Windtorn Ruins, which is the point in the run where you start getting really nervous in pretty much every category, because this is the point of the run which is pretty dead. There's not a huge amount of time save opportunities. They still exist though, like that. You can skip that cutscene, which is pretty cool. And you're pretty much just watching lore dumps, and it can be quite scary. When you get to this point, you have time to reflect on all of your sins that you've made throughout your life as you pray to have a good endgame. Though we're pretty much at the end of the game in this category because we've already done the whole final level, so you know. I'm just going to also equip this to do a quick wave dash, and then head into this little thing quickly here. We have 2 more left to go, and then we'll be coming up on our final non-challenge boss, basically. Oh, I nearly self-locked the game. As you sit there, Ori walks back to the cutscene automatically, and if you go too far, Ori will just constantly walk into that little ledge there, which will self-lock the game, which would be pretty bad. But we didn't get it, so nicely done. I love saying nicely done to myself. It just, you know, good vibes all around. It's like, yeah, you go, Skarfelt. You really are gaming really quick. Yeah, now we're going to come into what will probably be the final donation moment of the run. This is another cutscene here. So yeah, if you have any more to go, Sam.
Yep, that is fine. We have a one from SB, which is £10. Great cause. Well done. We also have from Barry B. Benson. Oh, Jesus. Nipple percent, please. According to all known laws of aviation, there is no way a bee should be able to fly. Its wings are too small to get its fat little body off the ground. The bee, of course, flies. And
did you know that's actually complete nonsense? I don't know where the B movie made that up from. That's just not true.
It's just from the blooming film, isn't it?
I know, but why did the film say it? It's just not.
I think it's our third B movie we've had today. And we also have Ori 1 Kenobi, Wally and the Venomous Crisps, in brackets Fozzie Bear. I'm going to assume that's towards Chains' incentive for tomorrow.
That was a good one.
But yeah, as I said, we hit it's 1,713. But yeah, thank you very much once again. We've raised, like I said, we've raised so much today. Nearly just over 10 hours right now, I think. We've raised
Yeah.
£1,700, which is mental. We still have 3 more runs to go actually today as well.
Yeah. I'm actually going to be commentating the Toho Luna Nights run after the Swiftmers. That run is really sick. If you've never seen that game, even if you're not a weeb, please check it out. That run is running that whole game are so cool. You will not regret it. Anyway, back to advertising what I'm actually doing right now, which is Ori and the Will of the Wisps. How about that? We're on the Sandworm escape, which is pretty infamous for being really hard. It's also pretty infamous for ruining the best pace I've ever been on in this category, where I was about to world record by a full minute and I died at the end. Whoopsie daisy. But we're not going to die today because I'm I'm gaming out of control right now. So here with launch, you don't have to have launch at this point still, so it's pretty trivial to just keep massively ahead of the worm. If the worm touches you, it is an instant kill, except whenever you go into the back third of his hitbox, which doesn't exist, to make that part a bit more generous. And here at the end, I'm going to be really careful to not dash into the spikes and die like I did in that run. Like that. I avoided the spikes, how about that? That's a novel concept. Again, the Z trick I found earlier where you don't die and run so much faster. So there you go, that was the last escape of the run, the Sandworm escape. You just basically went through, I don't know really what to say, at this point I kind of explained all the movement, I guess, you just kind of go. At the very end here, we're locked into walking, but there's a really important thing you can do, which saves about 2 frames, where if you hold feather, Ori will just glide. And be fine against the blustering winds. The only inputs we have here are glide and trying to bash. You can see that makes this glowing circle up here around Ori. But yeah, this is coming up right now to the very end of the game, to be honest. We only have the final boss to go. And all we have to, because we've done the whole final level, I can just teleport right over there. There's nothing stopping me at all. So hopefully it'll be fine. Yeah, she says, the Weeping Ridge stands in our way. It doesn't. We're just at the final boss already. Stair lies to us. So let's just go teleport over real quick. Having the fast travel anywhere, as you can see, comes in really useful this run. Also, if you're interested in that kind of thing, sorry, if you're not interested in that kind of thing, there is a run of this game which bans spending any spirit light, which includes the fast travel thing, so you'll have to manually go and do all the teleport yourself. Anyway, heading into the last part of the game, we can do a sentry jump to go over the slow walk to streak, and here is the final boss of the run. Shoot. Here, for her first phase, we're just going to basically dump arrows into her, and try to get her in 3 cycles. This is her third one now. Cool, got it. Whenever her health bar disappears, that's the end of the cycle, so I can just run away. I can't do any more damage to her at that point. At this point, I'm going to go for as many Terra walks as I can, which look a bit like that. That was kind of a slow one, but yeah. And this escape, if we die, we go back to the first part of the whole thing. So while it's important to try and do these Terra walks, it's also important to not die, because that will lose so much time at this point. And I'm going to go for that cool strat I did at GDQ, which is 2 cycle. By firing as many shots up here as I can hopefully get it. So let's see if I can do that. This attack you can't do anything, so I have to just shoot a boat down. This attack you also can't do anything. So the idea of 2 cycles is basically, I mean 2 cycles where you can actually hit her, which does not include the attacks we've seen so far. Or this one, this is the worst possible cycle you can get, and I see it once in a lifetime. Okay, that's an actual attack I can hit. So this one, I'm going to dash to the right and fire 3 shots into her. I'm going to do the same thing again. I might not get 2 cycles because that was kind of bad. We'll see. Okay, this attack I can get a lot of damage in as she shoots this super slow laser. Cool, I got it. So that's 2 cycle. That shortens the length of the fight significantly, and it's basically RNG and how many sweeps you get. I count the attack in the background as a sweep as well. Each sweep takes about 5 seconds, the one in the background takes a bit longer, I forget exactly how long. So that was a pretty bad pattern. She can give you between 0 and 4 sweeps. Normally she gives you between 0 and 2, normally only 1 to be honest, so seeing 3 is really unlucky. The final phase, she doesn't have the ground for me anymore, so this is the coolest thing in the history of video games. I have to basically just bash up all of these things instead, which is so sick. And now I have to use my bow to finish her off just at the end here. And I'm out of energy, so I have to use the sword. There we go. Not right time, it's not time, it's not time yet, it's not time yet. That is the final boss, but there's a little bit of gameplay left, so I have to still, keep the run going, basically. But yeah, that was the final boss. That was a pretty good fight, to be honest. This run in general was like kind of whatever. Besides the Boris Reach disaster, it was kind of whatever. But you know what? For Battlefield 1, I'm pretty happy with that because the practice run I did was so bad. Like I had like no nerves at first going into this, and then the practice run I did was so bad. I like was so nervous before this. So I'm happy that went pretty well. I hope people enjoyed it a lot anyway. It was really fun to show off Ori again. This is my favorite game of all time. If you haven't played this one or the original Blind Forest, both are available on Switch, PC, and Xbox One, and I will shill them to the ends of the earth because both games are absolute masterpieces. They both have phenomenal movement, they both have great stories, they both have fantastic art, you know, beautiful music, all the rest of it. Like, you really owe it to yourself to play these games. They're also quite short, so they're not going to be a huge time commitment. Yeah, I can't recommend them enough. And I can't speak for Blind Forest, but it seems like a great speed game. Will of the Wisps is definitely a great speed game. There's loads of different things you can do if you're interested in it. There's any percent. So I only do no other bands categories personally. Any percent no other bands, we just go straight to Willow Tree. You don't have to do all the other challenges and stuff. Main quest order, which I mostly do, you don't get early launch, so it's more of an intended route for the game. And this one you've just seen, obviously. 100% you have to get everything. That's really meticulously routed, and you get to do some really cool tricks involving invincibility. And there's also Owls, I previously mentioned, which stands for No Out of Bounds, Wisps, All Wisps, Lightless, Shardless, or Owls for short, which you can see by this being an owl. Also, this cutscene's really sad, I'm just talking over it. This cutscene's actually, oh my god, very sad. Anyway, more importantly, speed. Yeah, Owls exists. That's the one where you can't get any upgrades or anything like that. It's been hard difficulty, very challenging run. Huge respect to everyone who plays it. And if you're interested in out of bounds stuff and glitches like that, there's a lot of broken stuff you can do with that. And there's some things you can do involving stacking backup saves. You can glitch out the menu to, you know, be able to do some really crazy things. The any percent all glitches run for this game is 11 minutes long. And considering that this final cutscene is 3 minutes long, that's 7 minutes of gameplay to beat the whole game. So you can imagine just how broken it is. There's also, you know, a lot of other categories for out-of-band stuff. And the community, to me, has just been absolutely wonderful. You know, they've been really respectful, and they've been really supportive, really passionate. Some really great people there that are doing really good work all the time. Everyone's cheering each other on, and everyone's good friends. And yeah, so if you are interested at all in these games, or these games as speed games, I also have guides that can help you out, or you can just join the Discord, and hopefully that'll help. Yeah. I think I got every shout out in there in the space of 3 minutes, so we're coming up in time whenever Ori touches this orb. So that will be time. So there we go. That was Ori and the Will of the Wisps. All challenges, no out of bounds. And what was my time?
It was 1 hour, 6 minutes, and 23 seconds.
That's not too bad. That's not too bad. It's slower than my GDQ run, despite being a faster run, but whatever. Yeah. I'm pretty happy with that. I really hope people enjoyed anyway. That's the main thing. I hope I wasn't speaking too quickly or anything like that.
No, it was very good. Very, very good. So the chat seemed to love it as well. Very engaged throughout. So that was very good.
Cool, that's great. I'm really happy. I look forward to watching it back. But yeah, we're pretty much good to be done now, right? Like, I don't have to stick around for anything else?
No, that's fine, yeah. Brilliant. Well, thank you, Johnny. Of course, fantastic run as well. We're gonna see you straight in about 10 minutes or so, aren't we? You're gonna be back for Marissa's Toho run.
I need some water.
So yeah, we will be back very, very shortly. So just stick about. Do stick about. We've got more runs to come. Cheers, guys.